Now available for the first time in paperback. Stop simping in the workplace. Men, learn what you need to know in order to protect your job from workplace predators with Stop Simping in the Workplace. Available in paperback at online booksellers everywhere. Amazon.com has stopped selling The Misadventures of Captain Savaho in the United States, and I am getting ready to discontinue the title all across all media platforms. And the reason why I will be discontinuing the title on all media platforms such as Smashwords and the iBookstore is because I just don't want to deal with the drama from former rapper E-40. Now, rapper E-40 has decided to trademark the title of Captain Savaho, and he did this just recently this year as related to publications. Now, the title of Captain Savaho has been on the market for years, and when I published the book in 2013 as a non-fiction title, the title was available for anyone to use. However, in recent years, such as 2017, a streetlit author named Erica Kane, also known as I. Kane, decided to publish a streetlit novel called Captain Savaho. And with the publication of this Captain Savaho novel, your rapper E-40 decided to start filing lawsuits against people for using the title of Captain Savaho on their books. But what your rapper E-40 didn't understand about copyright law was that you could not copyright a title as related to a song, and a title can be used by just about anyone. But because your E-40 was so emotional about someone using the title of Captain Savaho, in subsequent years he has gone out of his way to file trademark papers with the U.S. Trademark Office, trademarking Captain Savaho and making it his own intellectual property over the last 2 years. And as a result of E-40 owning the title of Captain Savaho, no one can use the title of Captain Savaho on any of their publications anymore. Now, I could fight this E-40 as related to the title of Captain Savaho because when I published the book in 2013, that was the time period before your E-40 had the trademark on Captain Savaho. However, because I have limited financial resources, I just do not have the money to spend going back and forth with someone like E-40, especially on an older property in the SJS Direct catalog. Because as time progresses as related to publications, publications on the backlist depreciate in value. And because The Misadventures of Captain Savaho was published way back in 2013, and it is now 2019, the property Misadventures of Captain Savaho is over 6 years old. So the property has depreciated in value as related to the SJS Direct catalog, and it does not really have the value of more recent titles like John Haynes' Dark Succubus, or books like The Man Crisis, which sell more books per month than an older title like Misadventures of Captain Savaho. However, your Earl Stevens, also known as E-40, he believes that the title Captain Savaho still has value and has gone out of his way again to trademark this phrase on his 25-year-old song, and he believes that because he now has this trademark on a 25-year-old song, what he wants to do is use this as a way to bully authors and prevent them from using that title on their books. Because in addition to Icane, who he went after in 2017, he went after yet another author in 2018, another street lit author who had used the title Captain Save-A-Ho. And with your E-40, what he's doing with these lawsuits is he's looking not like a seasoned professional, but he's looking more and more like a grumpy old man, and a grumpy old man who is trying to force authors off of the intellectual property lawn that he believes that he owns. And when he does this, what he does is he's making damaging his own professional image, because when authors use titles on their books as related to older songs like Captain Save-A-Ho, what they are doing is actually helping him make money, and these authors were actually helping him stay relevant. But because your E-40 is a petty individual, he wants to think that he can just bully authors on the street lit genre, and he thinks that by bullying those authors, he's going to remain relevant in the public eye. Unfortunately, the bad press hasn't really helped him overall, nor do I believe it's going to help sales of his 25-year-old Captain Save-A-Ho MP3 on platforms like Amazon.com. Because with each of those books that comes out, when people type in Captain Save-A-Ho on the search, what happens is the song comes up first, the books come up second, and you might get a chance at getting more sales if the title stays out there. Unfortunately, your E-40, because he's a short-term thinker and a short-sighted business person, he has decided to keep people away from the Captain Save-A-Ho moniker, and he says he wants to use it to merchandise for a clothing line and other merchandise. But when I do Google searches on it, I don't see many Google searches as related to business ventures, which proves a point I made back a couple of years ago when the book was first taken off Amazon's US platform, where this property remained dormant because your Earl Stevens did absolutely nothing with that property, and because he did nothing with the copyright and related to the title of Captain Save-A-Ho, this is why the title became practically irrelevant and as related to intellectual property usage. If it wasn't for many YouTubers over the last 2009 to 2011, people like your Tariq Nasheed, people like your Dan Freeman at the time, and many others making YouTube videos using that phrase would have gone completely out as related to the lexicon of black slang. And your Captain Save-A-Ho was actually made relevant because those YouTubers made those videos, but your Earl Stevens thinks that because people are putting it on a title of a book, that he should make some sort of profit on it. However, that phrase had been used in the West Coast for many years before that. So when I take a critical examination of your Earl Stevens and his behavior as related from a business perspective, I see an individual who really does not understand your copyright law, nor does he understand trademark law. And what he wants to do is he wants to make others miserable by using the intellectual property trademark to bully people off the publishing platforms and keep them from using the title of Captain Save-A-Ho. And what he does that is he winds up alienating many of these millennial fans out here, many of these Gen Z fans out here who learned of this phrase, and many of those people, young people, would have been the ones who would have kept his music alive, and many of those young people were actually paying homage and respect to him. But instead of him treating those younger fans with the respect that they deserve for using that title, he goes out of his way to be the grumpy 50-year-old man bullying people and trying to get them off of his lawn when these people were actually showing him great respect by putting that title on the book. And this just shows, again, how a very selfish individual doesn't understand the nature of business, and he doesn't understand how he's hurting himself long term. And again, I could easily fight your Earl Stevens in court and win because his time as related to the trademark was 2018 and 2019, and The Misadventures of Captain Save-A-Ho was published in 2013, years before he had any sort of trademark on the property. And because it was published in 2013, when the intellectual property had no rights, he could not make any claims against me. Moreover, your Earl Stevens could not claim as related to copyright because you cannot copyright a title. But because I just don't want to deal with the drama of a petty person like Earl Stevens, what I'm going to do is discontinue The Misadventures of Captain Save-A-Ho and leave that nonfiction book off of online platforms. Now, I'm deeply sorry that I have to take the book off of many platforms because men all over the world have read that book, and that book has transformed their lives. It has helped many men avoid dealing with female predators like single mothers, like strippers, and avoiding dealing with troubled women. And I would love to get this book back on the marketplace, but I realize I'm going to have to get this book back on the marketplace with another title, or I may possibly, if I do repackage this book, what I will do is repackage it without using the term Captain Save-A-Ho, and if it's repackaged, it may be part of a bundle as related to the SIMP trilogy. I may do a SIMP trilogy bundle package with that book involved, but I cannot release this book any longer with this title. So I thank everyone who has picked up a copy of The Misadventures of Captain Save-A-Ho, and I hope that if you have an older copy, you go out here and share it with your friends, and I hope that the book continues to help those who have it, but I can no longer offer this book on online platforms due to the dysfunctional pettiness of your rapper E-40, known as Earl Stevens, who wants to have complete control over the Captain Save-A-Ho name, and what he wants to do is use this ownership as related to trademark to push out all of the authors out here from using that property, not understanding that this property is 25 years old, and with it being 25 years old, it doesn't have much value outside of nostalgia, and many of those younger fans who listen to his music, many of the millennials, many of the Gen Zs, and people like your Icane, who was writing books with the title, these people who were paying homage to him and showing him respect, when he threw up a middle finger at all of those people, what he did was alienate an entire new generation of fans who now have less reason to listen to his music and even less reason to pay tribute to his song. You can pick up my other books in the SIMP series, like Stop Simpin', Why Men Don't Need Finance to Get Romance, Manginas, They Look Like Men But They Act Like Ladies, and Stop Simpin' in the Workplace and The Man Crisis on Amazon.com in Kindle format, Smashwords, the iBook store, and books like Stop Simpin' in the Workplace, and The Man Crisis are available on Amazon.com. And if you want to help me write and publish more men's issues books, you can donate to my Patreon, PayPal, or Cash App by clicking the link in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.